Hello?
Yes. Hi.
What's
How are
going
you?
on?
I'm trying to figure. Oh, I'm good. I'm trying to figure out my phone here. I had you on speaker. I was like, how do I turn it off speaker?
So,
Yay.
you know, it's kind of funny. Like, I knew nothing about you until, like, a week ago. You start following me on Twitter, and I see, like, all this color stuff and all. I'm like, okay, what's this? And I see it's the cover of your new album. I'm like, all right, I get a follow. And then next thing I know, we're talking on Facebook, and here we are today. But I found out you got, like, a whole thing going on. I found out a whole lot of stuff about you that shocked the shit out of me.
Oh, thank you. Like what?
Well, first off, like, you were influenced, like, by punk rock, but you became, like, a virtuoso. Like, you were influenced by the Misfits, the Dead Kennedys. Like, they were furthest from virtuosos. And then you go and become, like, Miss MIT over there.
Yes, thank you. I did go to MI. It's funny. I did 10 years of private guitar lessons, and then I went to Musicians Institute knowing how to play guitar. So a lot of people thought I went to Musicians Institute for guitar, but actually I didn't. I went to Musicians Institute for the vocal program because I already knew how to play guitar.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Thank you. And also, like, I'm kind of, I don't know, there's kind of a stereotype, I think, and a lot of it is true, but a lot of the music out there that, like, you know, that people, like, are really good players is kind of cheesy, a lot of it. And I don't believe that music has to be cheesy to have, like, good playing. So that's one of, like, that's one of my missions in life, and one of my goals is just to, you know, to prove that you can actually, like, play guitar, but you can make music that people want to listen to too, you know?
Yeah, like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just got to be something that, like, sticks in somebody's head and makes them want to. Yeah, it makes them, you know, want to keep listening to that song over and over. It doesn't have to be this whole big. It doesn't have to be this whole big, giant, like, intricate thing. You know what I mean?
No.
It doesn't need to be Hotel California or Stairway to Heaven.
Exactly. And I usually don't solo that much on my records. I mean, I solo a lot live, but that's a live show. You know, that's a whole different form. But on the records, I give it what the song needs. And it's funny. Slash, who I've toured with, he says, like, whenever somebody goes, oh, you're such a great guitar player, he goes, you know what? If it weren't for the songs, nobody would even care. Nobody would care. Right. It's all about the songs. It really, truly is at the end of the day. And, yeah, I could play guitar. I could do guitar solos behind my head, and I do it every night, and I love it. But if it weren't for the songs, it's like, that's where it's at.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yay.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, too, because I came across a video of you from, I think it was 2009 at NAMM. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, you're sitting there and you're just wailing away. I'm like, holy shit. Like, I was not expecting that.
It's funny. I get that a lot.
So that's pretty wild. So, and another thing was, you were actually picked to be on Nickelodeon in a female rock band or something?
Yeah, that was, like, when I was a teenager, like, right when I first started. And yeah, it was a TV show that was in development for Nickelodeon, and it didn't hit the air, but it was like kind of my first, like, taste of, like, the music industry and all that.
Now, if you would have decided to go that route, do you think you would have ended up like like one of the Demis or whatever you want to call them, what is it, Demi Lovato or the other one?
You know, I don't know. I mean, it's all about. It's all about the. I don't really think there's a correct route, to be honest. You know, my band. I counted, and from the beginning of the year to the end of this year, we will have played 150 shows, and that's what matters. Like, the more shows you play, and the more, you know, and like more records you put out, that's what it really is. You know, and it's going really, really, really well for us. So it's. You know, who knows which way is the right way or the wrong way? It's the way.
Right.
But I do love being an artist. I feel like I am an artist, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I could play guitar for somebody, you know what I mean? Thank you. But it's like, you know, I can play guitar, I can write songs. Yeah, but I feel like from the bottom of my heart, like I am an artist. I know like a lot of people, like they're in a band and they go on after the band to do their own solo project, like, you know, because, oh, it's time now, this is the next step, I'm going to do a solo project. And it's like, it's not who they are.
Right.
You know, and I started by playing guitar for Green Jello on tour, and we toured with Nashville Pete Expletive and Psycho Stick, and I lived on their tour bus for a year, and I loved it. I never stopped touring since.
Wait, so you played with Green Jello? What was that?
Yeah,
the
for like
Wolf
a
song,
year.
right?
Yeah, Little Pig, let me in. Yeah, I played all over the United States. Yeah, if you Google search Green Jello, the Fabulous Miss Wendy, you'll see a lot of videos of me playing for them.
Oh, that's funny.
Yay,
yeah, how did you come up with the name, the Fabulous Miss Wendy?
I was at Musicians Institute, and I was getting up to sing in one of my classes, and the teacher was like, the Fabulous Miss Wendy, ladies and gentlemen. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I love that. I'm going to call myself that. And he was like, right on. And then the next person came up to sing, and he was like, the Fabulous Miss Veronica. So it's just what he said, but it just stuck.
Right.
I just thought it was, like, so cool, you know? Because so many band names they're all trying to, like, you know, they're trying to be, like, hardcore each other, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
like they're, you know, death, trap, rock, you know, knife, destroy, sadness, you know what I mean? It's like all these, like, names, and I was just like, you know, I want to be something that sounds like fun.
Yeah, right. Now, like you're saying about like people going solo and all. I mean, you're basically your own. You're like a solo act kind of.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am a solo artist, and yeah, I mean, I did it because that's who I am. It's not like a vanity project or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's like I really like. And it's funny because ever since I was like 14 years old, my guitar teacher told me, he's like, you know, you're great, you're an artist. And I honestly had no idea what that meant. I went to Musicians Institute and I didn't understand the difference between a band and an artist until I actually went to school for it. And it was like, oh, yeah, I kind of lived under a rock for a lot of my life. You know, I didn't, you know, in high school I just kind of played guitar in my room all day, so I wasn't really like exposed to a lot of stuff. So I was very, very like kind of innocent, like not knowing, you know, like coming out of school.
Was there any one guitar player that really made you want to pick up a guitar?
You know, Slash is great, of course, and Jeff Beck. I love the way Jeff Beck plays. You know, he plays like fast. And he plays, like, well, and he plays with, it's a lot of fun, the way he plays. I saw him play in Detroit, and he was fantastic. And, you know, Jimi Hendrix, too, just, like, the way that the guitar is just kind of like an extension of his body, you know. He just, like,
right.
He just threw that thing around like it's, just, like, you know, just like, just throwing it.
So now, going back to like touring and stuff like that, like you mentioned, you guys played like 150 dates this year, and it's funny because I was scrolling through on your website, which I love when bands do this or artists.
Thank you.
They'll put like their past tour dates up, and I'm going through and I'm like, oh my God,
you.
like
I was actually Host
every
Baby.
night. What's that?
Thank you. That's actually Host Baby. That's the format that they have. It just shows all the past dates. So.
That's good. Well, I mean, it's cool because I was able to scroll through. But, I mean, like, for this year alone, like you were saying, all these dates, and I'm saying to myself, like, it's literally almost every night they're playing. Like, it's very rare do you guys take a night off.
Yes, and that's the way I like it, you know. I really do. I want to play all the freaking time. It's just, there's something, like, so addicting about it, and it just feels, I feel so, like, at home on the stage. It's like I feel more comfortable there than anywhere else, like in my entire life, or on the stage, in the studio, just anywhere where I'm around music, playing my guitar. It's really like the only thing I've ever stuck with in my life. That's how I know it's meant to be. I love it so much.
Well, it's not like too like you just stay in like West Coast where you're from. I mean, you're like traveling all around the country. Like you're up and down everywhere.
I've been everywhere in the whole entire country, pretty much. I think so, because now I'm like starting to like recognize like rest stops. Oh, I've been here before. I've been here a bunch of times. Oh, I remember there's this thing over here, and yeah, I've been all over the country. If I go to the airport, I look at all the domestic flights, and it's like I can just look down the list of all the cities, and I've been to pretty much every single one of them.
Now, you know what city you haven't been to?
Uh-oh, which one?
The one I'm at, Philadelphia.
Where are you at? Philadelphia?
I'm in Philly. Yeah.
Oh, I think we did play in Philly. If it wasn't, you know what? No, we drove through Philly and we stayed there.
You played Sellersville.
I played the Sellersville Theater twice. I opened up for UFO there. That's kind of by Philadelphia, sort of. I was in the Philadelphia.
It's like 45 minutes out.
Mhm. I was in the Philadelphia Jewish newspaper. They did a story on me.
Really?
Yeah, I forget what the name of it is, but if you could look it up, they did a story on me.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
totally
try to find
cool.
that now.
Yeah, and I opened up for UFO at the Sellersville Theater, which I absolutely love. There's just something so cool and so magical about that particular venue. It really, really, really is a great venue. I mean, not just like the way like it looks, it looks great. They take care of the artist. They have, like all kinds of like facilities and everything, and they really make sure that you have a good time. It's like, I mean, they're great, and they're like backstage. It's all covered in newspaper on the walls, or like pictures all over the walls, like a collage. Yeah, the whole backstage is like a collage. So you just sit there and like stare at all the pictures.
See, now that's wild too, how you can remember that. Like it just impresses me when you talk to an artist and they can remember, like I said, Sellersville, and you were just like open for UFO, and I remember this and this and this. That impresses the hell out of me.
Thank you. It's because we don't usually get to see that much of the cities. Like we get to see like the van or the tour bus or the hotel room and the venues and the road. So we remember like really random stuff like, oh yeah, that was the gas station where the one punker was talking to the farmer in the overalls.
Well, and here's something cool that you played too this past year that I was like, oh, very cool. Evil Knievel Days.
Yes, we did. It was awesome. It was so cool. Like, everybody there is great. I love Butte. It is so cool. And, yeah, it was like there were a lot of people at the festival. I think when we started playing, I'm going to guess there was about 2,000 or 3,000 people there. Then when we stopped playing at the end of the set, the street was packed. There had to be at least 6,000 or 7,000 people there at that point. They just kind of filtered in while we were playing. But Evil Knievel Days is rad.
I've been wanting to go to that for years.
You should. It's really cool. They had this, like, swimming pool that was kind of thing that was, like, hollowed out, and this guy was on a motorcycle going around it, and people would hold out, like, their dollar bills, and he'd come around and grab the dollar bills out of people's hands, and then if somebody put out a $20 bill, then he would throw an Evil Knievel shirt to him. All while riding the motorcycle in a circle. It's crazy.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really, really, really cool. The whole everybody there is just great. And yeah, we also played in Butte on St. Patrick's Day, and they have like one of the highest Irish populations like in the country. Fun fact, random fact.
Party.
Oh, it was crazy. Like, it was awesome. Like, I think we showed up there, like, noon, like, to get ready for the show, and people were already, like, doing, like, the human chain, like, stumbling down the street at, like, noon. And it was, like, just stuffed with people, like, it's just like, whoa. Yeah, it's really, really something else. And we went and we had... there was a Chinese food restaurant that was right next to the venue that we were playing at, and like Butte is kind of like an older town, like as far as like the architecture goes. Like it looks like it was made in like the 1800s or something, and a lot of the buildings are still like from around that time. They got like, you know, like a lot of like coal, like heaters stuff, or not coal, but like, you know, firewood heaters, stuff like that. But anyways, and it used to be a mining town, so they had this brothel there. And I guess like the miners used to like go to this brothel, and this brothel was now a Chinese food restaurant. So we went. And then we were like, well, we got to check this out. So we went to eat Chinese food at this place that used to be a brothel. And, like, the way that the tables were laid out, they were each in their own little individual booth. And each booth just had a little curtain. Like, it was, like, open to the top. It was kind of like cubicles with, like, a curtain that you could totally see through if you really wanted to. I was just like, wow, this is how it happened back in the day, huh? They must have been really busy here.
That's wild.
Seriously. Yeah, it was
that
like 20, wild. like 10 on 2 rows, 10 on each side. It looked like, it just looked like an office cubicle, each with just nothing but a curtain. I was just like, whoa.
Alrighty. The good old days.
Yeah, so if you go to Butte, then there's the Chinese food place. It used to be a brothel. It's pretty cool.
That's funny. And I'm sure everybody knows it. To say, hey, where's that Chinese food place? And they'll be like, oh, you mean the brothel?
Yeah, it's probably the only Chinese food place in Butte.
Probably.
It probably is, but they're great there. I love them. I love them so much, and they're sweet, and they play my stuff on the radio too. They've been playing tracks off of my newest record. Thank you. I just put out my 3rd studio record. It's called Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Fabulous. I'm very excited about it. Thank you.
Yeah, so that just came out in August, right?
Yeah, it just came out like just a few months back, and it's been going awesome. Yeah, it's just been flying off the shelves. It's been going really, really good.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, you didn't do no video or nothing off of this album yet, did you? Because I saw you got like a bunch of videos.
No, I haven't done any video. Yeah, I've done like a bunch of music videos. You know, I just put out the record and then went straight on tour. So it was like my whole brain was just like tour. Because tour is like, it's a lot of brain work. Like, it's really like, it takes up a lot of your thought while you're on tour. It's like, I always have like these highfalutin ideas, like, I'm going to get all this stuff done that doesn't have to do with tour on tour. And it's like, not as much.
And it doesn't happen,
tour, you have to focus. Not too much. I mean, sometimes a little bit, but really it's like, tour, I really like to focus and keep my head in the game, you know what I mean? Like, I want to give my best. I want the audience to get my best, you know what I mean? And it takes me, to get ready for a show, it really does take me like a couple hours at least, like to really like do it right. And that's what I do every night because I care about what I do. So I really, I take the time, I do the stretches, I get I get dressed, I put on my makeup, I do the whole, I get the merch table ready, got to load the gear, get all set up on stage, like, and really, warm up my voice, get all my equipment together. Like, it takes like at least 3 hours. Like, it's like you think you just like wander into the club and it's just like, all set up. But even if everything were all set up, which sometimes, I've been in situations where we have roadies and everything, and they set everything up. But still, it takes me like an hour. No, it takes me like 2 hours really to get ready for a good show properly. Because I don't know. I just like to give it my all. I do. Ever since I was at Musicians Institute, it was like a lot of people would like get up on stage and like they'd read the lyrics off of a lyric sheet, and I was just like, why don't they memorize the lyrics? We're on stage, you know what I mean? Like, I would not only memorize the lyrics, but I would take at least an hour each song that I would rehearse to get on stage, you know what I mean? 1 hour per song, at least, just by myself in the vocal booth, marking the sheet and, like thinking about what I'm going to do on stage and what I'm going to do this here, I'm going to do that there, I'm going to pace it, I'm going to, emphasize this word, I'm going to do something different here. Like, I really would sit there and think about everything because, I don't know, I love it so, so, so much. It makes me really happy. It gives me, like, this feeling like I'm flying inside, and it's, like, addicting.
It's literally like a total high.
It very much is, it's amazing, like, how much music can really influence like your mood and your thoughts, and like it's just like it's so powerful. Like I think when I first started songwriting, like I didn't understand like the power of like putting like, you know, words to music, but it's like you got to kind of, so I would just kind of write about anything, but now I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know, I got to write about stuff that matters. You know what I mean? Because this is forever. This is forever. That's why they call it a record. It is a record in time forever. And it's, you know, it's something that people really, really need to take seriously if you're going to be an artist. Like, that is in time forever.
Right, exactly. Wow.
Thank you. I just love it. It's so much fun. My newest record, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Fabulous, it's all about just like having fun, achieving the American dream, love, just being fun, being silly, and it's really cool. But the artwork is really, really interesting on it. It's the front is me naked, wrapped in an American flag, holding my guitar like a baby. And that's symbolic of, you know, like the hope and the American dream, and just like, you know, somebody kind of coming across the border. They probably have their baby in their hands, you know, and they don't know what they're in for, but they're just looking for a better life. And then the back, and then the back of the record.
I thought that you were going to say the American dream is you naked under the flag.
Well, it depends on whose American dream you're talking about.
There you go.
Maybe some people. But yeah, and then on the back is me, like I'm on the ground and I'm like I'm crawling towards my guitar, and like, you know, and I'm holding the American flag on me, and that's, you know, symbolic of, you know, the fact that the American dream is there for the taking, but you actually have to like take it. You actually have to like get up off of your couch and do something. You know what I mean? And that's like, some people could call it a struggle, but I don't know. I just call it a challenge. And then on the inside of the CD is me. This is on the CD itself, naked, completely buck naked from the back, holding the flag on my side, and just my butt and my whole back and all that. And that's symbolic of achieving the American dream. So it's like the hope of it, the accomplishing it, and then achieving it. So it really is like it's a whole thing. There's a lot of symbology in the record, and I'm really, really happy for it. I'm so happy about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you. And thank you. I released it on my own label as well.
Oh, even cool. So was this the first time you've done that?
No, I've done that before. I mean, I didn't know I was releasing it on my own label. Like, at first I didn't call my label anything, but now I actually like have a DBA and the label and all that kind of stuff. But this is the second record that I've released myself on a CD Baby. And I have another record that was produced by Kim Fowley that is on a label called Not Dead Yet Records. So those are my 3 records.
Yeah, how did you end up? It's funny because when I was going through like your old videos, and it was the one song Jailbait, I was saying to myself, this would be like something Kim Fowley would come up with. Then I go through and I'm reading the stuff on your website. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Well, Kim Fowley actually, I did co-write like 2 songs with him on the record, or 2 or 3, maybe I think it was 3 songs on the record, No One Can Stop Me, which is the record that I made with him. And I did some co-writes with him, but I write all my own material. I don't really have any other writers. I mean, sometimes I'll have like a co-writer too, but for the most part I write everything, but
right.
I have very
what was it like working with him?
The co-writes. Oh, it was great. You know, he was actually the biggest mentor of my career. And before he passed away, he gave me 30 pages of lyrics that he wants me to put music to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, I've been so busy with tour, but I have these lyrics, and yeah, I'm definitely going to make a record with it, you know, which is kind of cool because, you know, he's not around anymore. So the fact that you can not even be around anymore and you can still make a record proves how legendary you are. And he is very legendary. I met him, you know, I saw the movie The Mayor of Sunset Strip with Ronnie Guggenheimer. he's the guy that, I think he started K-Rock in Los Angeles, which is probably the biggest rock station now. And Kim Fowley was in that movie a lot with Rodney Bingenheimer. So I was at South by Southwest just walking around, and I saw Kim Fowley walking around, and he walked right up to me, and he was like, "What's your name? What do you do? I want to know." And I was like, I'm the Fabulous Miss Wendy, you know, here's my record, blah, blah. And that was the record, my self-titled record, which was produced by the bass player Vivo, and that one had Jailbait on it, and I gave him that record, and I wrote my phone number on the record, and then, like, a couple of weeks later, he called me up, and he was like, "This is your destiny calling." I was like, "What?" He was like... And he had he was on Sirius Satellite Radio. He had a weekly show, and the producer of his show said that he could play 2 new bands from South by Southwest, one song from each band. And he said, "I received hundreds of CDs, and you know, me and my assistant listened to them all." And he said, "Your CD is incredible." He said, "I will play any song that you want off of the record on my radio show." And that was the first time I ever got played on the radio. And that record was so new that I didn't even have it when I flew out to go to South by Southwest. I had to get it rushed, the CDs, to my hotel a couple days later while I was at the convention.
Wow.
And then like a couple days later I handed it to Kim Fowley, and he played it on the radio. And so he got hundreds of CDs, and he picked 2 out of hundreds, and I was one of those CDs that he picked. So.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Kim and I worked a lot together. At first he hired me as a studio musician, and I acted in a couple of his movies. He was making movies. It was just kind of like really fun, silly stuff. It was just me standing on camera, saying funny stuff, being myself, whatever. And then after that, like I also like, did some typing for him, because he can't type, or he couldn't type, and he couldn't drive. So whenever he worked, he would always like have somebody come over and help him work. So I used to make extra money by going over there, and he'd like dictate, and I would like type his emails for him and listen to him talk on the phone, and I just learned like how to work in the music industry by watching him.
Wow.
Because like he'd be on the phone with like Rolling Stone Germany or whatever, you know what I mean? And, like just organizing stuff, and I watched how he did it, and I was like, okay, this is like just like running a regular business, like, you know what I mean?
That's
this
like
is kind of like
literally sitting. It's like sitting in like a music business class with one of the greats.
Yeah, it was really, really, it was so helpful, and he helped, and it was just like amazing, and I loved working with him. And then when it came time to make my second record, I asked him to produce it for me, and he did a great job. That's
awesome. That's going to be you got memories there for forever, like legendary memories.
Oh yeah, it's funny. Have you ever seen the new Runaways movie with
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so you saw the character, the Kim Fowley character in the movie. I think they underplayed his personality.
That's scary.
Yeah. That's how wild he is. He's so funny. Like he would. Am I allowed to cuss on your show? Am I allowed to cuss?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So one of the things that he would like say like every day, it was like one of his favorite Kim Fowley isms. He'd go, "Finger fuck a tiny dog." That was always finger fuck a tiny dog. So we were at Cherie Curry's house, the lead singer of the Runaways, and this was right before they made the Runaways movie. And Joan Jett's manager, oh my gosh, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he was there, and he brought me. He thought that I should play Joan Jett in that movie. He really did.
Okay.
Because he said like I kind of look like her, and that he said of all the people in the world that he's ever worked with, that I was the most like her. Just like, just like who I am as a person, like just my demeanor, my personality, or whatever. So, which is cool. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So anyway, so he bought me a wig and brown sunglasses, and I came over to Cherie Curry's house dressed up as Joan Jett in character for like 2 hours walking around. And it's funny because I'd met her before that, and she did not recognize me in costume. And, and Kim, he always used to say, finger fuck a tiny dog. And she had this little tiny dog. And the dog comes out, and I'm like, hey, Kim, finger fuck a tiny dog. And he looks at me, and he looks at Cherie Curry, and he goes, Wendy, that's disgusting. What are you talking about?
Finger fuck a tiny dog.
And, I mean, he would say that every day, many times a day. That was so funny. Oh,
it seemed like that you got to put that as a Facebook status and then don't say nothing and just let people like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Oh, finger fucking tiny dog. Well, everybody who ever worked with Kim Fowley would know exactly what they're talking about. But the first time I ever met Cherie, because I met Cherie Curry and Lita Ford through Kim, and Kim Fowley was going, there was a party at the Houdini Mansion, this big mansion in Laurel Canyon. It's pretty famous. It's like, there's all kinds of like weird pathways and stuff, magic, whatever stuff. Anyway, so they're having a party there, and Kim Fowley hired me to drive him to the party, follow him around with an acoustic guitar, and he was like singing to everybody, and he had me play guitar for him. Just like making stuff up, walking around. And and this woman came up to me. I didn't like recognize her, but she was just like, she was blonde, and she was, oh my God, Kim played me your stuff. I love it. It was incredible. So excited. And then she said, okay, I got to go, bye. And she takes off. And Kim was like, that was Cherie Curry, the lead singer of the Runaways. I was like, oh my gosh, what? And then I met Lita Ford. I met her a couple of times, but one of them was at Kim Fowley's house. This was like kind of towards the end, and he, when he was like really sick, and he was like, he had like a hospital bed, it was like IV, and I was there, and Lita Ford was there, and he held her hand, and he held my hand, and he looked at both of us, and he cried.
Oh man.
Mhm.
Wow.
That was cool. Yeah, Kim was rad. I love Kim. He was so cool, and I learned so much from working with him. I really, really did. So, yeah, he's awesome.
That's wild. So you have all this stuff now. You got to, like, write a book someday.
I think I will, because it's actually in my stuff to do, because, when Kim was doing his autobiography, he started doing it into 3 sections. So, like, so I'm already starting to get, some for my first section of 3.
The first section is in progress.
Oh yeah. I think I've had enough experiences to make a book about. Like the time I had a Final Tap moment and got lost under the stage when I opened for Slash at the Depot in Salt Lake City.
Come on.
Oh yeah. Because they were like, oh, Wendy, you're going to get to talk to Slash today. I'm like, yay. It's like, talking to Slash is like you go through like 12 people. They're all on like earpieces to like let you into the next room. So did you get into the next room? Yes. Okay. And it's like, then you're like that much closer to Slash. They really, it's not that easy to talk to Slash. Like, I had to go through a lot of people. So it was my chance to talk to him on the tour. And it was like right before I went on stage. So they literally like, okay, Wendy, you're on in 10 minutes. Okay. So thanks, Slash. It's nice talking to you. And I walk out. Now his backstage area was underneath the venue. Like my backstage area was like upstairs, kind of like in the regular venue, but his was completely, in the basement. And in the basement of the Depot at Salt Lake City is basically connected to the basement of a huge mall, with a huge tunnel that goes into the mall for deliveries. So it's like, so I walked out into like this tunnel area, and like I couldn't find the stage, and there was no cell phone reception. There's nobody there except there's this like dark tunnel, and I need to be on stage in 5 minutes, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And a security guard saw me kind of wandering around with my guitar down there, and he's like, hey, are you looking for the stage? I was like, oh, like all like shaken up, like, oh my God, how am I gonna find the stage? Total Spinal Tap moment. And he says, oh, okay, sweetie, here, it's right this way. And he walks me into this like crankshaft, like industrial elevator thing. And they crank this thing, and this giant elevator rises, and then they bring me up to the level, and then they open the curtains, and all of a sudden there's 2,000 people screaming for me. Whoa!
That's
it's like,
wild.
Oh my God.
Now, it would have been even funnier, like if you ended up out in the mall, like in the middle of the mall.
Yeah.
Standing there with your guitar.
It's like, where am I? It's so funny. But yeah, I really, the Depot is such a great place. It's a really, really, really cool venue, and it was a sold-out show as well, so that was fun.
That's awesome. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. So the album, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Fabulous. Like, one question I got to ask as I'm looking through this list of songs here. Why do you want to be in Portland?
I actually was asked to write that song by the Portlandia people. So they could use it for whatever. Yeah. So that was a song that I wrote on assignment. But what's funny is when we're on tour, then we put the name of the city, whatever the city is, that we're playing that night. And it's amazing. Every night people think that, oh, my God, I can't believe you wrote a song about, whatever our city is. I'm like, yeah.
Absolutely. I love it here.
But, yeah, I'm originally from Los Angeles, but I tour so much. It's like if I'm not on tour, I'm probably sleeping and or getting ready for the next tour.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you play so much, like, where do you actually call home? Like, do you actually call anywhere home?
Well, the band is based out of Portland, Oregon, but I travel a lot. I travel more than I don't, to be honest. So it's just like, that's just kind of part of it.
Yeah.
Like you want to be an artist, you should probably travel. It's a good idea.
Absolutely. Very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to let you
Yay.
pick. Let's do 3 songs off of this album, and I want you to pick the 3.
Off of my new record?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Turn Up the Noise.
Okay.
Beg for Me.
Okay.
And One Horse Town.
Got it. There you go.
Yay!
Very cool. That's what we're going to do.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Everybody check out www.thefabulousmisswendy.com. My new record, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Fabulous, is available on cdbaby.com, or you can order it from me direct off of my website, and I will sign it for you.
See, now that's the best way to go.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Cool.
Thank
Wendy,
you so much for having me on.
No problem. This has been awesome. Thank you. And
thank
now
you.
The next goal is for you to sing the song I Want to Be in Philly when you're actually in Philly.
Yeah, absolutely. And we always have to shorten, if a city has like a long city name, we have to shorten it to 2 syllables. Or we could say the state sometimes, or like New Orleans, Louisiana. I was like, how am I going to? Oh, NOLA. I want to be in NOLA.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you. What's the name of your show? I can do like a bumper for you. Hey, this is
please. It's Totally Driven Radio.
Totally Driven Radio. Okay. Hey, this is the Fabulous Miss Wendy, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Awesome. Wendy, you're the best.
Awesome. Oh, you're the best. Thank you so much. And I'll send you, if you send me your email, then I'll send you those songs right away.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, even just on the Messenger, because I know I can send, like, I guess I could send the song on Messenger, but I don't think you can download it on it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send you my email, and then you can send them over, and yeah. And then I've got to figure out when I'm going to be playing this, so I'll let you know.
Yeah, please do, and I'll let people know to tune in.
Cool. Very cool. Thank you again.
Excellent. Oh, thank you again. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day.
You too. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.